As soon as Wonder Woman put Usagi down, Ray smacked her on the back of the head. Ow! What were you thinking, idiot? That was dangerous. You're mean, Ray-chan! Usagi responded automatically, rubbing her head. But too late, she noticed that Ray's eyes were overly shining. Don't you dare pull that on me again. Sorry. You're still mean. As Mako caught to Usagi on the shoulder, Ami turned to Wonder Woman. Thank you so much for saving our Sailor Moon. We're in your debt. She bowed, flushing. There's no doubt to be had, Wonder Woman said, returning the bow. The world can't afford to lose Sailor Moon. We're the ones in her debt. You've heard of us? Mako's face was beet red now, and she was gazing at Wonder Woman quite openly. Usagi snorted a little. It was the same sort of reaction she had to Haruka. Mako-chan sure had a weakness for strong women. Of course. Of course! We're very famous! Minako was pouncing on the balls of her feet, stars in her eyes. Not as famous as you are, of course. I wouldn't say. You may not know Wonder Woman Sama, but I was known as Sailor V in England. You could say I'm an international hero like yourself, and we both could be considered idols as well. We're kindred. In fact, I often wonder why I'm not part of an international network of heroes of justice, because it's very interesting to me. I'm so grateful for you for saving Sailor Moon, so perhaps we could have a team-up to solve whatever crisis brings you to Japan's repayment. We'll follow up, of course. We need to keep our images and inspire people, the young women of the world! Venus, Mako hissed, blushing even harder. I admire your enthusiasm, Wonder Woman said with an amused smile as Minako practically bounced on the balls of her feet. And please, call me Diana. And I think I hardly deserve a sip. Usagi screeched. The shock of her near-death experience and Wonder Woman's arrival had worn off, and everything came rushing back to her. Wait, no. Sinister's in trouble. We gotta help her right away. Where is she? Minako said automatically, tearing her eyes away. Her! Professor Double A's house! Usagi said. Wonder Woman gave a sudden start. Then let's go! Minako cried. May I come with you? Wonder Woman asked him. I came to Japan tracking a woman who would most likely be Target Tomoe. Also, I'd like to help if I can. Minako said, crossing her hands, stars in her eyes returning. The more the merrier, and after we rescue Saturn-chan, we can continue our public team-up! Okay. Minako being a total Wonder Woman fangirl is all I needed in my life. I'm good. I'm happy. Vic, you can stop now. I'm good. Ray looked a bit embarrassed, harassed at the idea. Miyazaki quickly reasoned to herself that everyone was coming anyway, and having another champion of justice along to help just meant it was more likely Hotaru could be rescued safely without anyone getting hurt. Is that young man coming with us? Wonder Woman asked, nodding to a point in the distance. He seems to be unwilling to approach. Usagi gave a little start and turned to see Tuxedo Common was lurking a few feet away, as if he was kept at bay by an invisible force field. He looked away immediately when she met his eyes, and felt herself flush as she looked down as well. Diana raised her eyebrows, but before Usagi could think of anything to say, Minako chimed in again. Oh, that's the Sailor Moon's boyfriend. He's our ally. Don't mind it. He generally doesn't like staying around to talk to people. Actually, he usually runs off after the fight. The only reason he's still here is probably just because he's worried about our little cuts. She slapped Usagi on the back. Sorry. And I imagine he's intimidated by a woman of such high standing as yourself. Usagi thought she would explode from embarrassment. Venus. Makoto snapped. What? Ugh. Anyway, why don't you go and get him to come help Sailor Moon? Ray said. Well, Usagi tugged at her skirt unconsciously, unable to even look up. She couldn't help it. Her mind had suddenly frozen. Ray narrowed her eyes as Makoto looked quizzically at Usagi over her shoulder. You two in a fight? Ray lowered her voice to a whisper, but Usagi had the feeling Wonder Woman could hear it anyway. Only managed to half-shrug in response. Ray shot Mamoru a look that would have probably melted the mask of a weaker man. Fine, I'll get him. Mina, hurry up and go ahead. Saturn can't wait. She turned smartly and began a high-heeled march towards the lurking man. Usagi felt a tinge of embarrassment as she couldn't handle her problems by herself, even now. So you wonder what Wonder Woman would thought about all this. Surely she found her stupid and childish. But the woman's face was impassive as she said, "Very well. Let's roll out to my invisible jet as quickly as possible." Invisible? The high-pitched squeal Minako emitted was loud enough to defeat a monster all on its own. And then somewhere in Metropolis, Clark shot up in bed, curious. The Tomoe household looked very quiet from the outside. It was almost as if a moment had silence had fallen over the entire neighborhood. Yusaki couldn't even hear the rustling of the breeze. Strange. I thought it was for sure Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto would have destroyed half the house fighting by now. Makoto put up a hand on her hip. Yeah! Yusagi said, her heart jumping a little bit in her chest. What is her style? Let's cautiously approach, Ami said, whipping out her computer. I'm not getting any unusual activity inside. Now, these 3 older women might be a bit harsh to your eminence, Mina told Wonder Woman. Don't take it too personally at all. They're rude to everyone at first. They put up a tough front. On the other hand, I think Uranus and Neptune might be swayed by your looks. Ha! Uranus thought I was very cute. She was still rude to me, Yusagi said, puffing out her chest. Is that really something to brag about? Mina! Ami snapped. We have to be alert. Right, Yusagi said, her heart jumping in her chest again. Be very quiet, everyone. We're not the ones that need to worry about being quiet, Ray told her pointedly. I did things like this. Wonder Woman addressed Mamoru with a warm smile. He went red and gave a mumble of assent. He seemed to be unable to directly meet her eyes. Yusagi felt a useful jab of jealousy, and a strange melancholy as well. She choked it down. There were more important things to worry about right now. They crept to the door. Minako put her ear to the sound for a second, probably pinwheel in the air when the door was flung open. Oh! The company we were expecting. A woman in a white lab coat with a terribly force-freaked skin and bulgy eyes was standing there. Yusagi barely contained a yell, stumbling back into Makoto. Was he a monster? No, she seemed human. How could a human face be like that? How did she talk? And an old friend. So nice of you to come, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was suddenly at the front of the pack, towering over the woman. Her fist was clenched, her feet planted and radiated fury. It was such an unexpected transformation from the warm, smiling woman they had known. And Yusagi turned back again, this time accidentally stomping on Mako's foot. By the way, who was it that tried to say Wonder Woman didn't have a rogues gallery? I would really like to know. What have you done, Poison? Yusagi didn't even see it happen, but her sparkly golden lasso was now taut in Wonder Woman's fist and wrapped tightly around the woman she called Poison. Such a question right away. According to your ideology, we're all sisters here. Is this how you treat brethren? Tell the truth of what you've done in this place. Wonder Woman pulled the lasso tighter, and Poison's smile strained even more. Well, I really wouldn't be treating me this way if I were you, because I've taken a little girl's father hostage. You see, the minute I touched him, I injected him with a very special poison I developed. It's inactive until I give a mental command. Then it kills him instantly. Truly the cutting edge of my scientific discoveries. I know you have super speed, princess, but I wouldn't try to move faster than the speed of thought, especially since you'll also activate if my brain shuts down. And now his daughter can't try for a rescue. Even the dykes won't make a move for his sake. Kill her! Stop your hateful slurs, Diana snarled. You would never kill that man here. It will rob you of your only weapon against us. Oh, I would. After all, if you choose to disregard me while I keep him alive, I would have nothing to lose. And believe me, there are other weapons. Now, take your little lie detector off me, or I'll issue the command. Wonder Woman's face was like stone. As he slapped the lasso off, Yusagi felt dizzy. Who was this woman? You! One Jupiter snarled. Be good little girls and come inside. Let's negotiate, shall we? She turned away like a creaking marionette, and her broad smile seemed to stay fixed in Usagi's vision. He slowly filed into the house. She could feel Mako shaking with anger behind her. It reverberated through her like the low lumbering of thunder. Ami's eyes flitted around, and Usagi could practically hear the gears grinding in her head, trying to think of a way to trap this human monster. Ray was chanting something under her breath. Her hand poised at her side, she was ready to pull out her ofuda at a moment's notice. Mia's eyes were sharp and focused, as only they were in a fight. She could feel Mamoru's heavy steps behind her as well. Wonder Woman marched ahead of them, her muscles tensed and her back shoulders straight. Usagi simply felt cold. She wrapped her arms around her chest in an attempt to fend it off, but her heart continued to seize like everyone around her had already fallen. They entered the Tomoe living room to find it quite intact, with Haruka, Michiru, and Setsuna grouped around Hotaru, who was also in uniform and had her glaive out as well. Professor Tomoe was slumped and unconscious against the wall, oven mitts still on his hands. Hotaru had her hand on his shoulder. The form seemed to engage in a quiet argument, but broke apart as soon as Poison entered the room. The three older women turned around, placing themselves directly in front of Hotaru. Haruka's eyes widened when she saw Wonder Woman, then narrowed in suspicion. Michiru blinked and unconsciously seemed to run her fingers through her hair before going back to her usual cool expression. Setsuna merely looked more alert at the arrival. Otaru's eyes were like flat glass, her expression unreadable. "Well, we have a full attendance now." Poison clapped her hands and turned around. "Let's get down to business. This little girl has agreed to come with me to guarantee the safety of her father." "What?" Usagi burst out. "What do you want Saturn for?" Makoto demanded. "I simply want to continue her father's fine work. As a scientific experiment, this girl is unfinished." "She's not an experiment," Haruka growled. Poison shrugged. "Is human test subject more acceptable? While we're arguing semantics, I may get bored and kill the man who started all this." "Go ahead, then," Haruka snarled, jamming her finger at Poison. "Otaru shouldn't have to be a victim to your stupid feud. She's been through enough at his—" Otaru shot out a hand surprisingly. Haruka went silent and looked over at her. The young girl straightened, letting go of her father's shoulder. "Thanks for worrying, but this is my decision," she said softly. "My papa gave everything to save me once. I can't do anything else for him." "You've already paid him back in full for that, Otaru," Michiru said softly. "Think about this. There's no guarantee she'll honor her end of the bargain, and the damage she could do to you. Sometimes you have to sacrifice." Otaru gave Michiru a sad smile. "We all know about sacrifice. Don't worry. I won't let it come to that. I won't let him die either. I'll find a way. Just like Sailor Moon did for me." Otaru's eyes darted toward Usagi, no longer the glass bead eyes of Sailor Saturn, but the sea eyes of Otaru Tomoe, her precious best friend Usagi's future daughter. Usagi wanted to run to her, but Dr. Poison blocked away. Instead, she could only lurch forward slightly, croaking, "Otaru-chan, no! You can't!" Ray grabbed Usagi's shoulder to steady her as Setsuna knelt down directly to face her. "Otaru, when Small Lady left us, she made me promise that I would make it my priority to protect you, since she wouldn't be around. That as your parent, I had to make sure you would never went through anything alone again." Otaru started for a second, then let out a slight laugh. "That does sound like something she would say." "You understand I can't break that promise. If saving Tomoe is that important to you, I could commit the taboo right now." "No!" Otaru said harshly, and everyone jumped a little. It was rare to hear her raise her voice. "I'm not sacrificing one parent to save another. You know that Chiba Yusa wouldn't want you to do that. Chiba Yusa-chan is more important, as more than anyone else would understand what I'm doing. Now letting me do this is protecting me. She would do the same for her parents. She believes in them just like I believe you three in my papa." Pluto looked like Hotaru had shattered something inside her at this pronouncement. Usagi felt the same way. She broke free of Ray and grasped past Poison, grabbing Hotaru's shoulders. "Hotaru-chan, we can find a way out of this. That's what you said, just like before. Let me go instead, I'll find a—" "Actually, that's an excellent idea," Poison spoke up. She's been watching the goodbyes unfold as her amazing teleplay, but now she loomed down, her grin threatening to swallow everyone. This girl is the Sailor Moon that so revolutionized my home country, correct? She's the most mystical of you all. She's clearly the goddess of the moon. I'm going to have to insist she comes along with my dear friend's pet project. What? No! The sensei rushed forward to confer on Poison, but she held out an arm. One more step, and I'll kill my old lab partner. Mina, it's okay, Yasaki said, straightening. She had a strange feeling she always got in situations like this. Both like she was coming undone at the seams, and the thread holding her together had suddenly straightened. No, Otaru-chan, it's not fine! Otaru's kite spun in the air, stopped for an instant from Poison's throat. You involved our princess, the deal's off. The glass bead eyes of Secret Saturn had resurfaced on Otaru's face, and he stared right through Yasaki to Dr. Poison. Poison's eyes narrowed. You're bluffing. You will let your own father die for this girl? Otaru-chan, don't! Yasaki squeaked as he made everything worse. I would. Otaru's voice cracked slightly. My duty to protect the princess above all else. It's what I was born. Our princess is our future, and I can't allow myself to endanger that. If she is harmed, my father is dead anyway, along with the future and hope of this world. She breathed hard through her nose and lowered her head so her gaze pierced Poison like shards of glass. I am Sailor Saturn, sentient silence, guardian of the outer solar system. I do what must be done. I sacrifice to ensure the cycle of life in the world. She steadied her hands on the glaive. You cannot add conditions on our deal on a whim. If you involve Sailor Moon, I will kill you where you stand. Dr. Poison stared at Otaru for a second, her throat trembling just above Saturn's blade. Then she threw back her head and laughed. Very well. I have a feeling she'll come after us anyway. Otaru lowered the blade and stepped beside Poison, glancing at her father once more, fixing her eyes on the rest of her family. Protect her, Otaru, she told him, jerking her head at Yasaki. And my papa. Of course, Pluto said. Otaru-chan, you're the one who needs protecting, Yasaki pleaded. Why was everyone acting this way? Haruka looked like she was going to start yelling again, but Otaru repeated, This is my decision. I'll be back as soon as I can. Yes. Mishiro put her hand on Haruka's shoulder, fastened her gaze on the smirking scientist. If she doesn't come back, we'll kill you. You won't get away, Haruka snarled. Poison. Wonder Woman spoke for the first time, and everyone jumped at the way her voice echoed. She had been standing there as tense for an opening, her eyes never leaving the doctor's face, her knuckles white around her lasso. I know what you're trying to do. Be assured it won't work. You should learn from your mistakes and surrender now. I have learned from my mistakes, Poison said early. That's why I have you on the ropes. I wouldn't advise any of you coming after me. I don't think you want your new allies turning against you, Wonder Woman. The truth won't set any of them free. There was a flash, and Yasagi reeled back, coughing from the sudden burning smell. She opened her eyes to find Dr. Poison and Otaru were no longer there. How? What kind of magic is it? Haruka knelt down, addressing Neptune as she examined the spot where Dr. Dar had previously been intently. It's not magic, Wonder Woman said heavily. It's very advanced science. Like the science of Themyscira or the DNA teleporter. There's someone else now. I don't understand what the hell language you think you're speaking, Haruka said, straightening up and straining at the face of the older woman. But I would definitely like to know what the hell someone like you has to do with all this. Dr. Poison is Wonder Woman's. I imagine she came from America pursuing her. Somehow we've gotten dragged in someone else's problem. Mishiro put her hand on her hip, her eyes accusatory. Themyscira is where she comes from, by the way. Haruka looked away from her glaring match with Diana, winking her brow at Mishiro. How do you know so much about her? Mishiro blinked suddenly, ran her fingers through her hair again, and looked away from her girlfriend, gripping the mirror hard and mumbling something about internet resources. What was that? Now is not the time to discuss this. Though I would like to mention you look up all kinds of things on the computer as well. And I never say a word in jealousy. You've been looking up my search history. Both of you, stop being childish! Pluto interrupted through gritted teeth. She pointed a garnet rod at Wonder Woman. You will explain what's going on. I heard you say you knew what the doctor was planning. Tell us everything you know. Diana nodded, ignoring Haruka's continuing glare. I'm not sure exactly, but poison is an arcanobiologist. She weaponizes mythology and hopes to integrate God-given magical science. I gathered from the conversation that your Saturn, well, likely most of you, have god-like mythical powers. Perhaps you are an extension of the Roman gods, though I should note that most of their mythology was entirely lifted from the Greeks. See, now she's being childish. Snapped at Pluto. Tell her off. So Poison would have to be looking to dissect and weaponize the powers she wields. But she doesn't truly respect it, so I doubt she'll be able to handle it. We need to find her laboratory and stop her before she threatens Tokyo. Wonder Woman said surly. But if we attack, she could harm Tomoe-chan, Mercury pointed out. A sneak attack, then, Pluto said. If her brain shuts down, he'll be killed. We need to figure out a way to stop this poison she triggered. Ami knelt down beside Tomoe, her fingers dancing across her computer. I am possessor of a purple healing ray. Despite her posturing, Boys has never been able to counter it completely. I may take some dueling, but perhaps it can help. Wonder Woman crouched beside her. She unhooked the thing from her belt. She brought it from the jet, apparently. Ami smiled up. Oh, yes, I'll look into my computer and see what we can do. Why are we trusting her? She's a stranger. She could be very well working with the enemy, Haruka snapped. We shouldn't let outsiders in on such personal business. She's not even a senshi. She could very well end up doing worse damage to Tomoe and Saturn. Jupiter rolled her eyes. Here we go again. It's true she's in a suspicious position, Pluto agreed. But we can't trust her. But regardless of that, we need to rescue Saturn as soon as possible. Right! Minako nodded. Mercury can stay behind and help Tomoe, but all hands are needed otherwise. We'll figure this out Poison's location and take the rest in there. Wait, someone needs to stay behind and protect Sailor Moon. No! Yasaki shrieked. She hadn't expected to hear such nonsense from Minako of all people. But I'm coming with you! Ah! Ray snapped. Do you hear her? She's after you as well. You can't come. You'll be played right into her hands. It's out of the question, Buncehead. Haruka continued to verbal assault. It'll make everything worse. Didn't you listen to a word Saturn said? So you'd be willing to let her die for me? Yasaki screeched. Haruka's face became a scary blank face. Haven't we already proven that? She mumbled darkly. Yasaki's insides went cold. It's what she wants. It's who we are. The outer sensi have long since made this agreement. Monsieur said softly. We sacrificed for the world. So, as always, we will honor our daughter, protect our princess. Don't try to interfere with this. Yasaki felt like a dam was bursting inside, rushing water filling up so she couldn't breathe. She looked for anyone to take up her case. No one did, not even Mamoru, pulled the brim of his hat down so he could avoid her eye. Wonder Woman looked uncertain as to what was going on, but unwilling to interfere. But he's fucking a sacrifice for me! Sagi burst out, tears splashing down her face, skin hot with fever. I never said this was what I wanted! I'm sick of it! Stop it! This means I had to sacrifice more in the end anyway! Why can't you understand that? I'm not gonna let this happen! With that, she turned away from them and ran into the street, sobbing blindly and stumbling. Hoping she could reach Hotaru, she kept going.